Oke, kita akan nggak tahu kita di planet mana ini.
Releasing ship from dock. Done. We are now free to move among the stars.
Oh, kita masih bisa pindah ke planet manapun ya. Dazrah. Jangan-jangan semua dunia di sini berbeda lagi. Karena kita kayak seakan drive kemana gitu yang pindah di kayak misinya si Rafael tank itu.
Landing gear's ready.
Tempatnya merah-merah gitu ya.
Hold very still and choose your words carefully. They will determine how long you live.
Apa nih baru
Please,
datang?
we are not a threat. We are trying to help.
You have no right to be here. You will tell me how you found this place. You trespass in Dazra, the home of House Varun, and you disgrace it with every heretical step you take. I say again, who are you, and how did you find this place? No signal should have left this system. But the Oracle was lost.
Yang mana nak jawabnya?
Indeed it did. The Oracle is perhaps the least of our problems, I'm afraid. Forrest, I think we need not fear our guest. Perhaps, in this time of need, the Great Serpent has delivered us a gift.
Counselor, with due respect, we have not had unannounced visitors here in generations. It is a clear breach of security.
I do not disagree, and I know that security, in whatever small form we can grasp it, is of paramount importance. But you must acknowledge the timing is curious. And perhaps our guest's intent should be determined before we take further action.
That station brought me here to jump while my ship was stopped.
We received the automated transmission, but you are certainly not who we expected to find.
Great Serpent,
What's happening?
hear me.
Speaker, we are here!
We have reached out to you to seek guidance in our hour of need. The gate in the Citadel has been opened just to seek you.
What horror is this?
Have I failed you? What is this place? Where am I? Why do you not show yourself? I strive only to follow your command. All must serve. Please, do not leave me in darkness. I seek only your wisdom, your guidance. Great Serpent, your children cry out to you. Will you not answer us?
Oh,
Our
tapi
leader,
gua
Anasco Varun, he has appeared like this over and over. So many of our people have been trapped in this state, these vortex phantoms. But usually they are hostile and lash out. Anasco is different. If only we could hear his voice, some reassurance that all is not lost. Anasco Varun is our leader, the grandson of Jinan Varun himself. He sometimes appears to us, but we cannot interact. I am not able to go into detail. There was an experiment, an accident. Many of our people left in a similar state. While most are hostile, Anasco is... The Great Serpent spared him that fate. He's different. If only we could communicate with him. You could hear him. Despite the sightings, none have heard the word from Anasco in all this time, yet you claim to. Do not toy with me. Not about this. If you speak truth, you must prove it. What did he say?
aduh.
The serpent.
I heard nothing. He said that?
It is no joke. Truly, you did hear Anasco. You have been chosen. People of House Varun, hear me. We have asked the Great Serpent for deliverance from our calamity, and he has answered us. This outsider has been chosen as the most unlikely vessel for the Great Serpent's divine providence, and he will help save us all. Outsider, please. There is no denying you have been sent here as a sign. You must help us. But there are precepts that must be followed, principles that must be obeyed. Even in these dire circumstances, we cannot turn from Jinan Varun's teachings. You will be granted safe passage through Dazra and the lands beyond. No harm will come to you. On that, you have my word. You even have my assurance that your compatriot here will also remain unharmed. But to truly aid us, you must become part of House Varun. This is not a thing done lightly, and it cannot be taken back. Will you commit to helping us by becoming one of the promised? Well, efforts to do something, anything, about our current dilemma have fallen to political infighting. I believe your arrival, if nothing else, represents a sign from the Great Serpent himself that we must finally put aside our differences and work together. It must be ordained that you would appear before us now, able to hear the speaker when no one else can.
Do you mean the promise?
We, the people of House Varun, are the promised. The Great Serpent has blessed us with knowledge of the future and our place in it. Our service to him guarantees us a place in the new worlds he will create when he returns to enshroud the universe. A greater gift could not be bestowed upon you. You must mean the Zealots. I assure you, they do not represent House Varun. We do not engage with the settled systems. They would attack us just as soon as you or anyone else. And they would certainly never extend an offer to join them. as I do now in this time of desperation. So, will you?
Kita join semua faction, cak. GG.
Excellent. Please, come with me. Forgive me for not introducing myself. I am Malibor Dulkev, a member of the High Council of House Varun. I have been asked to represent the Council in this moment. Please, enter our city. You have my word that you will not be harmed. I would ask that until you have become promised, you avoid the citizens of Dasra. They are not used to outsiders.
I have no patience for outsiders.
Open the gate! I must tell you what I will do now, but surely you saw the scaled citadel as you arrived. It was the center of an explosion of sorts that has annihilated most of our city. We have lost many of our brothers and sisters. I believe we are still in danger.
What is the meaning of this?
Is there a problem,
Chosen by
Makara?
the serpent himself.
The city is in shambles. The speaker is missing, and here you are leading some outsider through our sacred space? Why allow this husk to defile our city? Have we not lost enough?
Have faith. I believe this outsider was guided here by the great serpent himself. And soon, serpent willing, they will be one of us. But I can be sure and pass your concerns on to the rest of the High Council, if you wish. I apologize for the interruption. There is a ritual intended for converts to the Promised that has not been performed in generations. We are fortunate that there are those still alive who remember the old ways and have remained prepared for such a moment as this. Herald Inaza, I suspected we might find you here waiting.
I saw the ship landing. I knew immediately that I would be needed.
Indeed you are. This is Inaza Kaisir, Herald of the Serpent. She will guide you through the ritual. I am needed elsewhere, but I assure you that you are in good hands. We will speak again soon.
So, the Great Serpent sends you to me. There is something about you. No husk that walk the Serpent's path. To enter this sacred cave, there is no turning back. You will be forever changed. This is a path you must walk of your own free will, alone. Will you step forward and emerge anointed, one of the Promised? You have not been filled with purpose by the Great Serpent, so you are merely a husk. But perhaps not for long. Those born to House Varun spend every day surrounded by our history. The rituals that separate us from the husks happen naturally over time. You have not experienced that. Those who have not answered the Serpent's call cannot coexist with House Varun. And so, if you are to aid us in our time of need, you must become one of the Promised.
Apa yang terjadi ya kalau kita ngambil traits yang kita dari Great Serpent itu?
A lesson. A test. A moment for the Great Serpent to reach out and fill you with something more than what you have been. Then enter, and I shall guide you along the Serpent's path. For this is a journey you must undertake alone. Your escort cannot follow.
This is a profound step for you. Do not worry. You have nothing to fear.
Oke. Kau penggemar emang dia host Farun ya, lupa aku.
You must walk the path. I am merely here to guide you along your way.
Apa kau ikutan dia? Kau harusnya tunggu di sini. Ya udahlah, mungkin karena mod creation yang gue ini kali ya, tapi nggak tahu lah kenapa. Kalau gitu let's go, kita masuk ya. Wait, ada yang mau gue ganti dulu. Oke, gue matiin crosshair. Tiba-tiba ada di sini ya gue.
I will await you at the end of the Serpent's Path.
Biar cool.
Before House Varun, there were humans. First on Earth, then scattered among the stars. And like all humans, they were lost souls, wandering in the dark, looking for a path. One particular colony ship housed 100 of these souls. They were each alone and isolated, individual tiny flames that could be snuffed out at a
Gak tahu nih harus
moment's
ngapain nih.
notice.
Optional.
But Jinang encountered a great serpent and was given the gift of knowledge. He shared his knowledge with those around him and lit the way for them. They followed his guidance and his light, and they cast aside the burdens of their former lives. And thus, House Maroon was born. Now you too have the chance to cast aside your burdens, to relieve yourself of anything that holds you back. People's hopes and fears and dreams were entrusted to the great serpent.
Gue nggak mau sacrifice apa itu, nggak tahu gue. Takutnya barang gue di sacrifice.
Greatness. You may now follow in their footsteps and take that same leap. Embrace the great serpent, and he will embrace you.
Make a leap of faith. Apa yang terjadi ya kalau gagal ya? Gue save dulu deh. Coba gue nggak lompat ya. Mana tahu gagal. You know what? Lompat kita.
The people of House Varun settled this world, at first in these very caves. Shinan Varun himself slept among them in these shelters. It was here that he spread the word of the serpent. It was here that the people of House Varun first understood the truth of their place in the universe. And it was here that the people of House Varun first understood the truth of the shrouding. The great serpent's return. He will encircle the universe he created, and all those who do not follow will be cast into shadow. And the people weighed this knowledge against their former lives, and saw how they had been blessed, despite the difficult new life that awaited them. You too will do well to feel that solace amidst the pain.
Say no to peluru, say yes to peluru. Apa? Contemplate the shrouding. Ini ngapain?
Until that day comes, we are the voice and the hands of the great serpent. Our every act a sacrifice to hasten his return. Make now a sacrifice to prove your devotion. And remember, whether in life or in death, all must serve.
Kasian, Cok.
Let us begin the final ritual.
Anjir. Semi Far Cry gitu.
Have stood before the great serpent. We can all feel his presence. To solidify his bond, you are presented with a simple choice. Before you on this dais are several items. They represent different aspects of House Varun's connection to the great serpent. Pick the two that call to you. Place them on the altars. Offer it to the great serpent that he may fill you with his spirit and make you promise.
Kalau bisa dijual ambil aja kali semuanya. Tapi enggak.
And so you arise, one of the promised of House Varun. Did you feel the great serpent working within you? Do you feel born anew?
Kita udah born anew, Cok. Ya juga ya, guys ya. Ini salah satu Starborn-nya.
Yes, your confidence is impressive. Through strength and perseverance, House Varun will triumph over all that stands in its way. I grant you the title of Vindicator. All will know you. All will trust you. Above us, in the grand ship morning, jewel of the Varun fleet, The High Council awaits your arrival. Serve them. Serve the Great Serpent. All must serve.
Gue udah yakin tadi kayaknya banyak yang gagal deh. Tapi nggak tahu lah ya. Meskipun spoiler nih ya, apa di Ranger juga gitu, meskipun kita gagal nolongin kita tetap Ranger material. Tapi nggak tahu nih. Tadi gua nolak 2 itu masih boleh. Hehehe, look guys. Ini. Lift morning spot Serpent Path. Gue kurang tahu siapa dampaknya, jadi
Hello, Vindicator. Welcome, Vindicator. You stand before what remains of the High Council, advisors to Anasko Varun. We are all that is left after the disaster that has befallen our people. I represent House Dulkev. Jamal is from House Kadik, and we are joined by Lovek of House Vital. We are, all of us, hopeful that your arrival in Dazra and your clear connection to Anasko Varun, for the first time in weeks, represent some semblance of hope.
ini yang tadi gue pikirin juga nih, banyak kali housesnya.
Collectively, we unite under the banner of House Varun, pledged to follow Jinan Varun and his descendants. But our society is not a monolith. Jinan, in his wisdom, shepherded the first of us into families that we might grow and prosper. Our 3 families have for generations now helped to govern the people of House Varun, and offer counsel to our leader. But you do. We have only seen brief glimpses of him since the incident. But you heard him speak. How can that be taken as anything other than providence? Please, just allow us a moment to explain.
By all means, Malabor. I can't wait to see how you spin this.
Please, can we just for a moment...
Can we just for a moment what? Discuss whether or not to allow the first convert to House Varun since before any of us were born? A bit late on that, it seems.
You were not there. You did not see Anasko. It felt different. We have already wasted so much time...
You're correct. I was not there. Because you elected to travel to the spaceport on your own. And then decided this on your own.
Do not waste time with more bickering. Anasko, and by extension House Varun, suffers with every passing moment.
Of course, Lovek. My apologies. Please, Malabor, do go on.
Anasko Varun, like his father before him, has relied on the teachings of Jinan to guide us. Anasko wondered if perhaps it was time to seek guidance directly from the Great Serpent, and so sought a means of reaching out.
Perhaps he found the teachings inadequate.
Careful, Kadik. You tread on dangerous ground.
I mean nothing by it. We simply were never consulted on the matter and do not know the full motive.
The point is that a series of experiments have taken place over the years, utilizing grav drive technology to Hopefully make direct contact with the Great Serpent, similar to Jinan Varun's initial meeting.
And then something went wrong.
We do not know what happened. We were not inside the Scaled Citadel at the time.
Had we been, we wouldn't be standing here now. We'd be like the rest of them.
A great tide of energy emanated from the Scaled Citadel and swept across Dasra. Much was destroyed in its wake. Those caught in the blast have been left in a state of confusion, trapped halfway between our universe and the Vortex. Citadel itself remains in such a state. Right there and yet beyond our reach. We can only assume that the experiment is still running, somehow preventing us from entering the Citadel. We cannot get in, so we cannot stop it. We're beginning to lose hope before you arrived. It has only been a few weeks. There had been efforts to put together some kind of response, some plan. But they had fallen apart. Forgive me, I am no scientist. But as it has been explained to me, what we call the Vortex is the space between universes. Your arrival and your interaction with Anasco shows that he can still be saved. The plan had been devised to access the Citadel, but the work stalled. Clearly, it is time to move forward with it. The current head of our science team, Ekris, should be in Jinan Plaza down below us, towards the Citadel. Tell him about your experience with Anasco, and that work on the morning device must proceed.
Oke. Kok kita nggak ngasih tahu ya apa yang terjadi ya? Apa yang terjadi tuh kayak
Do you know the scientists out of
crash mungkin error.
The old married couple? Azad and Shireen, if I remember right. I've met them a few times. They seemed a little eccentric, but were otherwise quite nice.
That's them, yes. They're apparently looking for
What
some
did you
help
need?
with their research. They made some kind of
Very good.
discovery that has them troubled.
Good luck finding help at a time like this.
Indeed. Yet the Serpent provides for the faithful, so who knows?
Nothing is truly impossible.
Ya, tempatnya gede banget ya. Ini ingatin gua.
The scale of the disaster is hard to accept.
It is morbid, disgusting. You should be hanging your head in shame. But instead, here you are, acting like a...
What? What do you want?
Anjir.
This does not concern you.
Please accept my apologies. I caught my brother attempting to do something unspeakable, and I could not contain my anger.
Oh yes, go on. Invite a total stranger into our family squabbles.
This is no squabble, you pompous fool. What you have done today is abhorrent. I can forgive stealing my money or pawning my valuables. What I cannot abide, however, is you attempting to some mother's urn with her remains still within.
I have done many things I am not proud of, but I have never stooped as low as that.
I was drunk. I did not know. All of those vases appeared the same.
It is an urn, not a vase, you ignoramus. And you were the one who chose it when Mother passed away. I am tired of your shamelessness, and I am done bearing what should be your indignity. Do you hear me? I am done. You have gone too far this time, Amila, and I cannot bear the humiliation of being your brother any longer. I challenge you to a duel. Danica shall be my second.
What? Are you mad?
Borhall, are you sure? There is already so much death in the city. What good would this do? There has to be another way.
Too late, Danica. He has issued his challenge. I accept. In fact, look forward to it. You shall be my second.
Ini juga gue nggak tahu nih. I don't even know what the second is. What is that?
Our job is to make preparations and ensure fairness on both sides. We shall have different duties between the two of us, but our aim is to prepare the site of the duel, weapons, ceremonies, and discourage any ambushes.
No, why not you? You seem capable and trustworthy.
The true answer is because Emila has no one, family or otherwise, willing to be his second. He has burned every bridge there is to burn. He will have to resort to picking someone off the street regardless, so it may as well be you.
I do not want to wait any longer than necessary. If you agree to this, you will allow us to come to an immediate resolution. I will pay you handsomely for that.
No. I believe we have just passed the point of no return.
I would not have proposed the duel unless I were fully committed to it. I am well past the point of compromising. Then it is settled. Outsider, you will work alongside Danica to prepare for the duel. As for you, Emila, enjoy these last few moments. For when we next meet, your shameful life ends.
Do not sound so confident, brother.
Need
The
help
family
with
home
anything?
is this way. It is not far. We can discuss the matters there.
Yeah,
you
but
will be working with me. As seconds, it is our duty.
I have another duties. Okay, bye-bye.
Well, look who it is. You have made quite a stir, and given the state of things, that is a singular accomplishment. To what do I owe the honor, Vindicator? At the moment, obviously a great deal of nothing. Have the High Council to thank for that. Politics and expedience rarely pair well. Did he now? How magnanimous. But approval is approval, and I will gladly take it. I will spare you much of the technical detail, as I confess that pieces of it I barely understand myself. One cannot help but notice the energy field around the Scaled Citadel. Until we can get through it, we cannot shut down the experiment inside, and it has proved quite impossible to get through. We had the beginnings of a plan to build a makeshift contraption to redirect grav drive energy to see if we could penetrate the barrier, but the project came to a halt. Politics got in the way.
This seems like the one time to set politics aside.
Every one of the houses needs to contribute, and every one realized they could potentially use it for leverage. What should have been a cooperative effort turned contentious. Easy decisions became negotiations. And so, construction never began. We have sat here, staring at this disaster as supplies pile up for well over a week now. Serpent help us, it is infuriating. The Council just so happens to represent the 3 houses under Varun's banner, who are also entrusted with various aspects of running, well, everything. Each of those houses needs to contribute something to the project, so the Council is the final stopgap. Were the Speaker here, he could bypass all of it with a wave of his hand, but, well, you have already seen the state he's in.
I've been here 10 minutes.
I don't disagree, but allow me to impart some advice. Most would consider that disloyal, possibly even heresy. Keep that kind of talk to yourself. I believe I've done enough complaining for now. Time to get to work. If you're here, the Council has likely sent word to the houses that it's time to stop the infighting. I doubt it will be enough. I need to oversee construction here, make sure things are built to specifications. If you could follow up with the houses, that may speed up the process. The first convert in generations. The only one to have heard from the Speaker since the disaster. Oh, I think they will listen. House Vetol owes us access codes for the city power grid. It's the only way to guarantee enough power to activate the device. House Kadik was supposed to provide a young scientist named Sahima to help me. She had at least some experience with the original Citadel experiment. No idea why they refused to send her. And Hasmek, the new elder of House Dulkef, he has been distant, guarded. He claims to have vital information about an important component of the experiment, but has withheld it until now. Help me get what we need, and we will see what we can do for the Speaker, and for House Varun. And I may have something that can help you in whatever trials the Serpent puts before you as we navigate this. We have been nearly overwhelmed with all that has happened over the last few weeks, but I have still spent some time doing my own research when I can. These phantoms, the vortex. Fascinating subject, really. If only there were some less disastrous way we could have discovered all this.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. I am glad I am not the only one who can see that. Does nothing to make the loss any easier, but still. We have encountered several interesting phenomena. First, while the phantoms shift to a fully human form when killed, they often retain small shards that appear to be an almost crystallized version of vortex energy. Second, we have learned that killing the phantoms sometimes causes an even greater disturbance. Horrors, as they have been colloquially termed, can appear from somewhere. We are unsure of their origin, but it is not within our universe.
Oh.
These horrors and their spawn are infested with cysts, a seemingly organic manifestation of vortex energy. We have managed to collect enough to run experiments and have devised a method of combining them into an explosive mixture with varying properties. While they have no use in the development of the morning device, if you find yourself out in the field, I believe they could have more practical applications. Well then, allow me to provide you with a few starting samples. The process is simple enough that any industrial workstation should suffice, if you have the materials. And depending on how you combine said materials, you may find the results to be somewhat variable. I hope you can use that to your advantage. Just look around. I'm sure you have at least some idea of how much we have physically lost. A huge portion of the city is just gone. And those left behind are struggling. Supplies are limited. There is so much work to be done, and we are all just so tired. I hope that eventually we can return things to the way they were, but we must be realistic. that will take time, and I suspect a great deal of it. Not enough to have prevented it from happening. If I had any idea it was going to turn out like this, It had been Inasco's primary goal for some time. A way to recreate Jinan Varun's encounter with the Great Serpent. Everything we knew about grav drive technology, every scientific advancement we'd made in the last 100 years was poured into it. Towards the end, I was just so exhausted. I asked for a brief time off. Had I not, I would be trapped in there with the rest of the science team. Yes, I am sure that is how some would see it. I left the project weeks before the disaster, and at that point, we were nowhere near ready. Some breakthroughs were made shortly thereafter, and they ran the experiment. And here we are. Yes, depending on how much trouble you're getting into. We have been nearly overwhelmed with all that has happened over the last few weeks, but I have still spent some time doing my own research when I can. These phantoms, the vortex. Fascinating subject, really. If only there were some less disastrous way we could have discovered all this.
Oke guys, yang promise itu questnya sampai sini dulu guys ya. Gue lupa nama questnya. Kalau gitu, gue harap kalian enjoy. Nanti next kita akan lanjut 2 itu ya guys ya. 3 kita suruh align 3 house. Oke, gue harap kalian enjoy. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe guys. Thanks for watching. See you next video. Bye bye. Peace.